Do me a favor. Can you close the door for me? He has this new view. I don't know how I'm feeling. Jesus. If you move your computer down one thing, will that make your thing bad?
Oh, take this off. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that making your computer be kind of really highlighted. Is that bad for your view? If not, put it back in there.
I don't think so. I'll know once I go live, because I don't have my face up on the thing right now. Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is how to identify trauma bonding. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive F5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I spoke about signs that you are being love bombed. Go over to YouTube, type in Intellectual Radio, and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, good relationships are key to healing. We are grateful for our sponsor. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the EmanuelC.O.G.I.C, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at EmanuelC.O.G.I.C at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at EmanuelC.O.G.I.C-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Here are your trending topics for today. Singer, actor, and reality TV personality Tracy Braxton has died at the age of 50 on Saturday, March 12th. According to her family, Braxton had been battling cancer for at least a year. Braxton's sister, mother, and friends were by her side when she passed. According to her publicist, she was in hospice for the last year of her life. When I heard the news about my mother being sick, the first thing she said was, "I'm going to fight this and beat it," her son Kevin said in an Instagram post on Saturday. She fought to the end, and today she's at peace. Those are your trending topics for today. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, please like the show, share the show, invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. Co-hosting with me today is none other than cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore. Hello, Rizal.
Hello, Lady ReShell.
How are you?
I'm good, but I'm a little sad now because I didn't hear about Tracy Braxton. I'm like sitting here like, oh my God, Tracy Braxton died? Are you serious?
Yes, only 50. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, well, we know the numbers can be lower than that, but Tracy Braxton? Oh my God, like that's news to me, but that's, I guess, why we have trending topics here. I thought she was going to talk about the war or something, but oh
Yeah.
man.
When I heard that, I was just like, oh wow, like to hear that, she was privately fighting the battle, I mean, of course her family and her friends knew, but that was my first time ever hearing anything about it. So to hear that she actually
Wow.
passed from it, I was like, oh wow.
Wow.
You just never know what battle somebody is fighting.
Very true. And that brings us to our topic today.
Yeah. How to identify trauma bonding, which could really be a battle for somebody, seriously.
Yes.
Yes.
And as I looked up the meaning and everything, it's a lot. It seemed like it touches on a lot of topics that we have talked about before, as far as like gaslighting, abusive relationships, how to leave. Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yes. So let's jump right in and get started. We're going to go for the definition of what exactly is trauma bonding. So according to the dictionary, it's defined as a psychological response to abuse that occurs when the abused person forms an unhealthy bond with the abuser. And I think we all have heard like something about somebody being abused and you're just like, why they won't leave? Why they still there? Like, what's going on? Like, and they like, I love this person. I care about this person. You're just like, really? Like they doing all this stuff to you and you're still there. So I think we all can identify with that. What I was thinking about, we all heard this thing called Stockholm Syndrome. Have you heard that before?
No, Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome. So it's a condition in which hostages develop a psychological bond with their captors during captivity. So what happened, they got this name from these people robbed a bank, right? And they took these hostages with them. And when they got captured, the hostages didn't want to testify against them, right? They actually had bond and formed a relationship with them while they was being held. And so that's where that name came from, because it was in Stockholm. I want to say it was in Europe. Yeah.
I think that's in like Switzerland or somewhere over there,
Yeah.
something like that. Man, look, they made a movie about it. Called it Money Heist. You go on Netflix and watch it. A lot of the hostages formed the bond with the bank robbers that was in Money Heist. Some of them actually joined the side with them. So yeah, I didn't know they called it Stockholm, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes. So the term was first used in 1973. So there you have it. That's just a little background on how they started really talking about or identifying what trauma bonding is. So we're going to talk about 7 stages of trauma bonding. And we talked about the first one we talked about last week. So we're going to go through the 7 and we're going to tell you what you can do as well if you're dealing with this and what type of plan that you need to put in place. So the first one is love bombing. And we talked about love bombing last week, about how they will shower you with so many gifts and compliments and just with their time. And you're just like, oh my God, this person loves me. They're giving me their all. And you feel like you have really met the one. So they're going to bomb you with everything that they have to make sure you don't have a chance to breathe or realize that something's not right with this person.
I mean, that happens. It's only natural to develop a bond with someone who treats you with kindness. Many abusive relationships begin with a shower of affection and assurances of love.
That's true. So love bombing is the first stage when it comes to when it comes to any type of relationship when you're first starting out, it's that honeymoon stage, and that's what it feels like. It feels like you're being love bombed. But the only thing is, with love bombing, it eventually stops, die down, and whatever they was trying to do, it wasn't real. It was somebody putting on an act. All right, so there you have it. Number 1 is love bombing. And then number 2 is trust and dependency. They want you to make sure that you are depending on them and them alone, right? So everything that you try to do, they're going to try to win your trust. They want you to depend heavily on them for validation, for love, even any type of problems that you're having. They want to be the person to solve those problems. They want to get you in a position to where you're not trusting anybody else but them, right? And they're going to make sure that they're in your ear about everybody. We talked about isolation last week. They'll isolate you so that you're only depending on them. You're only trusting and depending on them.
Right. As a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to leave," but the other person, they promise to change, but they make no effort to do so. So they're trying to win your trust, over, trying to show you different signs, and like you said, be dependent on them. So I had a thought today, and I was talking to my cousin, and my cousin, who he was married to her, and she was talking about how he used to take care of everything and all of that. So my question to myself was, if my cousin, the guy, used to take care of everything, pay the bills, buy you this, buy you that, and so forth and so forth. Now that he's gone, because he's passed away, that was Ron. Now that he's gone and passed away, what are you doing? Because you were so dependent on him to take care of things. So how do you rebound back? What do you do now to take care of yourself? If he's been taking care of everything, you may not even know how to do the things what he used to do, or carry yourself in such a way without him, or so on and so on. So how do you, now go on without him to replace that income, or replace that love or those feelings that was there when he was there, because you were so dependent on him coming through and taking care of things?
That's true. And that's why it should be a balance. It shouldn't be just one person, doing everything. We should make sure at all times that it's a balance, that one person is not being, worn down trying to do everything by themselves. And then when they leave, you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. I don't know where he kept the paperwork or anything like that. And he did the banks, I don't know where none of that information is. Like, that,
right.
You're doing
You don't know
yourself a disservice.
Yeah, you don't know the passwords. You can't get into accounts. You don't know what they could be. And now you locked out, and the bank is saying, no, you can't have his money, especially if you weren't married. Just all type of things.
That's true. So that the trust and dependency is such a big thing, because if they could get you to trust them and not anybody else, when something goes down and you have to leave this person, there's nobody else is going to be there, because you haven't been around anybody else. They done already isolated you from any and everybody that you love.
That's one of the things, because then a lot of people, you make excuses and defend their behavior, and when others express the concern about you. So that's one of the ways to identify the trauma bonding.
Number 3, how to identify trauma bonding is criticism. And remember, when you're love bombing, they're complimenting you. They're giving you all of this good information, letting you know that you're the man or woman of their dreams, and you're everything that they've been dreaming about. Like, you're everything that they needed, they wanted. They've never met anybody like you. So just a couple of months ago, you were all of that.
How quickly we go from the palace to the pig pen.
Yeah. So now they gradually start to criticize you. They start blaming you for things, and they become more demanding with you.
Criticism. I mean, I think a lot of people again, like I said, they begin to defend that person because they love him. Oh, he's just doing it because he's upset right now, or something happened at work. They start making all these excuses about them, but you just making excuses to yourself on why you're dealing with this person, trying to make it look good to the other people.
And yeah, you don't want to be embarrassed because you already know somebody done already said something to you about this person, about how you're acting, how he's treating you, and you want to make it seem like I didn't make a wrong decision when I decided to be with this person. So, you're going to defend that person at all costs. And it could be because, like, when you're going through the trauma bonding, you would choose the good over the bad. Remember, it's psychological. So you're gonna look at the bad stuff, and be like, "Oh, that's not so bad." But the little good that person does is gonna outweigh any bad that they could ever do, which is really sad. Because the good stuff may happen every once in a while. When he was love bombing you or she was love bombing you, y'all would go to dinner every week. Now y'all going once a year. And when you go once a year, you just hanging on to that once a year. So
Well, a lot of people, they fixate themselves on the good days, using them as proof that they truly care.
yeah. What have you done for me lately? That's what Janice said.
But at the same token, see, you really got, see, not thank you. You really got me thinking about this because, yeah, they're going to try to protect them at whatever cost, because one, they don't want people to know their business. And like you said, they probably feel embarrassed. But a wise lady once told me, you can't tell a person how to walk in shoes that you've never been in. So telling the person, just leave, it's not that easy. To stop and fight back and do it, it's not that easy. Especially if you've never been in it. It may sound easy by saying just leave or do this, but until you're actually in it, then you'll understand what steps that these people that are in these relationships, what they have to take, what they're going through, what their experiences is, and what they're taking on. Because not only is it, abusive and draining, but it's playing a big part on your emotions, is playing a big part on your psychological, your mental, all of these things. Because even after you come out of it, you ain't going to be the same. You're going to be fearful of any relationship that you even try to go. You may not even go back into another relationship because you're so traumatized by this one.
That is true. That's true. Another reason why they do that again is because they want you to depend just totally on them. They don't even want you to think about anybody else or being with anybody else. They want you to feel like, they are enough for you. So whatever it is that they're doing to you, they want you to be okay with it. So they're gonna start criticizing you and beating and breaking you down, so that eventually you start thinking, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I am all of those things that this person is saying that I am. And they want you to think less of yourself, so you will feel like I'm not worthy of anybody else. I'm just worthy of this person. Oh, this person loves me. They doing this for me. Like, yeah, they great.
Well, most women go crazy trying to prove to their partner that they're not crazy.
Wow.
You said why?
I said no, I'm gonna leave that one alone, but you can explain.
Because just like you said, you have these thoughts in your head that, he's calling you crazy or saying that you're crazy. So you're saying to yourself, well, maybe I am. And then maybe you might get a good, like, no, I'm not crazy. You driving yourself crazy trying to prove that you're not crazy.
Yeah, that self-care is just so underrated. Like, if you was caring for yourself and loving yourself, then we will not allow people to treat us a certain way, because you'll know what love feels like. You'll know when it doesn't feel like this and it feels foreign. Like, and yeah, people love differently, but a lot of people don't even know what it feels like to be loved. So when something comes along and they give it to you temporarily, and they give it to you like so fast like that, and you just like, oh wow, this is what I've been missing.
I mean, it happens. I mean, there's females now who said that they never been in love or been loved, they've never really been loved because one, they never seen love because mom and dad was always arguing or they separated. So if you don't even know what it looked like, you're not going to know when it happens to you or when it occurred. All you're going to feel is just a feeling like, okay, is this love? But putting your hands on the person ain't love.
Mm-mm. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Kenya. Kenya says you will know your self-worth and value when you love yourself. You have to
Wait a
love
minute.
yourself.
Oh, time out. Let's go back to Lisa. How's she just going to say, hey, sunshine, when there's a co-host? So, see, here we go with this. Here we go. She just can't say hello to one person and it's two here. Mom always said,
Did
when
she
you
say
enter a room,
sunshine?
you say hello to everyone.
Was it an S on there?
No,
Let me see. Hold on.
and you're not going to call me sunshine.
Come on.
Hey, sunshine.
You were sunshine, Rizal.
Come on, sunshine.
You ain't going to call me sunshine.
Sunshine. Yeah, own it. You don't want to be somebody's ray of sunshine?
See, look, that's a form of gaslighting right there.
Is it?
Look at what y'all trying to put. See, no, I'm not accepting it. I'm gonna get me a gavel. I'm gonna get me a gavel and start banging the gavel.
Number 4, how to identify trauma bonding. They will gaslight you, have you thinking you are crazy for real.
See, I just told you. You go crazy trying to prove that you're not crazy. See, I ain't crazy.
You would definitely start doubting yourself. You will see something happen and they'll be like, that didn't happen. Or you'll hear them say something, they'll be like, that's not what I said. And then you'll be looking at yourself thinking like, I know I heard this. And they're like, no, this is what you heard. And they're going to tell you what they want you to know or what they want you to think.
And then it becomes, I know I ain't crazy. I knew it. I know I ain't crazy. And you sitting there looking crazy.
Manipulation. It's manipulation. They want you to believe their narrative. So they're gonna feed you whatever it is that they want. Gaslighting. So
Well, gaslighting is a whole topic in itself. And we discussed that plenty of times. Like, that was a whole eye opener. Matter of fact, it's a show now called Gaslight.
Oh, wow.
That comes on. And it's interesting. See, all thanks to Warriors Talk every Monday night with Lady ReShell and Rizal. When we do Relationship Monday, you learn these things.
Gaslighting. Don't allow somebody to gaslight you. If you are feeling like, I feel like I'm crazy. I know this happened, and they're saying that it didn't happen, and you're constantly second guessing yourself, and they're telling you that it didn't happen. You're being gaslighted. Don't allow that to happen.
But what happens if they're telling the truth? Maybe you are taking things out of character and going over the top with it, or jumping to conclusions, and you are actually doing, these things that this person is telling you.
There's a reason why this person is doing these things. Like, get to the root of it. Why? What's going on?
It may not even have nothing to do with me. You could be had a bad marriage, and I get with you, and you reliving that whole thing, thinking, those red flags that you saw then, you seeing something now and thinking that it's a red flag. And when I'm really just trying to be genuine to you, I'm trying to help you heal. I'm trying to help you go through your process of healing by supporting XYZ. And you talking outside of your mouth, talking crazy and being angry and all this other stuff. And why, sis? Why we got to do all of that? You ain't got to come at me like that. I didn't do nothing to you.
That's why people should be healed when they come to you. You should not, I'm going to help them heal. Let them be already healed. It's okay to support them going to counseling or whatever to continue that, but
that doesn't happen because, all of us, we're our own psychologists and doctor, and we feel as though we can heal ourselves and talk through it ourselves and work through it ourselves. So going to counseling, that's for crazy people. That's for people who talking crazy. That's who need to talk to those people.
Go and get you some help. Like Leah said, gaslighting is manipulation. Absolutely. Anytime somebody will tell you, the stove is on and they're flickering the lights in the house and making noise in the basement. And you like, I know, I hear all this stuff. Do you smell gas? I don't smell it. And you like, I smell gas. And he like, or she like, it was a guy that did it. I don't smell it. And you like, you hear that noise? And he like, I don't hear nothing. And he had the lady committed. He had this lady committed because he was gaslighting her. And that's where the gaslighting came from, because he was turning the gas on the stove. He kept turning it on and off, and she kept smelling gas.
Man, it sound more like they had a doggone poltergeist in the house. If you got doors and all this stuff flickering and whatnot.
It was him. It was all him. People will do that to try to make, people will do that. People that don't have your best interest at heart, that really don't love you. They don't even love themselves. We talk about hurt people. So they get with you, they're hurt. And so they're going to put that hurt on to you.
That's a lot of hurt to be trying to bear and put on to one person.
If you are just tuning in to Warriors Talk, we're live on Intellectual Radio. Rizal and I are talking about trauma bonding. I'm going to take a moment to recognize my sponsor, Allstate with Paula Kelly. She is catering to all of your insurance needs, auto, home, and life. And she's located at 327 East Glenwood Lansing Road in Glenwood, Illinois. You can call her for a quote at 708-758-3300. Please tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. Now, back to this trauma bonding. I think we left off on number 5. Kenya said, hurt people definitely hurt people. Hurt people need to go get healed. Go and get yourself some help.
They ain't doing it.
Number 5, resigning to control. They want to have total control over you. Yeah.
So that's the narcissistic behavior. So I just noticed all these little things like gaslighting, narcissists, abuse, like all of them. It's almost like a tree, and all these things are just branches that's going, this way and that way. They just got different names, but they're all the same fruit. So if you pull the fruit, let me see how I got to put this. So if you pull the fruit away from the branch, it has less chance of surviving. But when it's on the tree, it stays more healthier on the branch with the tree. Okay, I got to work with that one. It just came to my mind while I'm thinking about like all these different things here with narcissists, this and all they're all just kind of like all under the same umbrella with different names, but all the same thing.
The narcissistic umbrella. But to your example that you just made about the fruit and the tree, this, for somebody who feel like they've been love bombed, if you stay close to your family and friends, then, you have a better chance of getting out of that relationship and not allowing that person to put you through that. But when you allow this person to isolate you and you're away, you're off the tree, right? You're away. Then that's when your spirit, you wither, you die, your self-esteem is low because you're not getting that nourishment that you need like you had when you were on the tree.
But how are your family going to know if you're protecting them by keeping abusive behavior secret?
No, if you are around, meaning don't allow him to isolate you, bring him around your people. And if he doesn't want to be around your people, you make sure that you are around your people. And if your people know you and they know how you normally act and they see you acting different, you looking different, we speak up. People will speak up, be like, girl, what's going on with you? Like, that's not like you. We speak up.
Well, he's going to wait for his moment because at some point in time, y'all got to go home.
That's true.
Then what? You going to stay at Mammy and Pappy's house all night because you don't want to go home because you're scared? At some point in time, you got to go home.
And as soon as you get home, there's going to be the criticizing, right? And that control, because now when you're at your family's house, he doesn't have control, right? and they like being in control. And I'm talking about a narcissist, right? Because a lot of narcissists have this trait, right? They do these things, the love bombing, they do the trauma bonding, they do these things. So when you're with your family, he doesn't have control or she doesn't have control while you're there. But when you get home, now is their chance to regain control. So they'll wait, they'll sit and wait until you get home. And they know that once they get home, they're gonna gain control. They'll give you that silent treatment, and then you're wondering like, what's going on? Why he not talking to me? Why they not talking to me? Yeah, they know how to gain control back.
Oh, Blair Underwood was a perfect example in that Medea movie, when he was abusing the girl, and he didn't wait. He did it right there in the mama's house, but the mama was pro him, though, which is crazy. That's when she told, look, you make sure you got a hot boiling pot of grit. You leave home, you better slow cook them jammies until you get home, because you may need them. You got to slow cook the grits, damn them 5-minute grits, unless you get home and you put them on real quick. But if you going out, you want them hot and ready when you get home.
Kenya said, perfect example. Number 6, wow, we're on number 6. Number 6, when it comes to trauma bonding, a loss of self. You lose yourself. If you try to fight back with this person, things are going to get worse. So you settle for any little thing to have your peace and to make the fighting stop. You lose your confidence. So you will not fight. Like if you know you're right, I'm not gonna even argue with him. You walking on eggshells on this roller coaster, and it's not a fun roller coaster. You just on this roller coaster with this person because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if they're gonna pop off. You don't know what kind of mood they in. You don't know.
Yeah, so now you're sitting there duct tape with both your hands and your arms and your feet because you keep trying to escape, and he's telling you, see, this could be us, but you keep trying to leave. So
they say when it comes to domestic violence that women, it takes them up to 7 times that they attempt to leave before they actually leave. It takes them 7 times.
I think because they keep trying to give him a chance, keep trying to give him the chance to turn to that person who he said, again, like I said, who he said that, okay, I'm not going to do it. First thing he said, it's not going to happen anymore. That I'm sorry, and this and that. And when they, yeah, okay, we believe you, and you go ahead and do something else that he didn't like. Then it's once again, now it's going to happen a second time.
That's the cycle of abuse. That's what the trauma bonding is about. It's about the cycle of abuse. So he'll reward you, then punish you, then reward you. So it's a cycle. It's gonna be it's never gonna be, oh, this is just all happy, good times. It's a good vibe. Because it could be the littlest thing that you just like, what just happened? Like, what did I say? What did I do? It could be the littlest thing.
Yeah, we learned that from Ike and Tina. What's love got to do with it?
Yeah, it could be the littlest thing to where you feel like you keeping the peace, you're not doing anything wrong. And then that person may feel like you disrespecting them because you're not saying that, you're not talking, you're not giving them eye contact, you're not respecting them.
And you're trying to keep the peace, and every little thing is just pissing them off more and more. So now they're really pissed, and again, that's what I call the daggers being thrown at you. Communication definitely goes a long way because it shouldn't even get to that point. Anytime anybody want to lay hands on you, you're definitely in the wrong relationship. I don't care if it's 1 time, 2 times. It shouldn't get to that point of where hands got to be thrown.
All right, guess where we are? Number 7. How to identify trauma bonding.
We got through all of these and still got time? Oh, something wrong. Wait, is it the time? Because the daylight savings time, we all scheduled? Something wrong. This ain't never happened. Well, maybe twice. Okay.
You become addicted to the highs and the lows. Your body becomes accustomed to it, right? You crave the stress. you crave the dopamine, the pleasure, you crave it, right? Again, it's that cycle that you depend on this person to make you feel that way. It's like a drug. You're addicted to this person. You're addicted to the drama. You're addicted to the abuse cycle. If it's not trauma happening, you feel like, oh, well, something must be wrong. Something's not right.
I thought you'd be more accustomed to the physical and emotional distress that's been caused all this time and throughout whatever time period that it is. You become used to, now is about the time when you start to stand up for yourself because you're so used to it. And I see it in movies. I've seen it in real life. Go ahead, hit me. They're like, bring it on. Now they're starting to get the tough skin and they're ready to fight back now once they get to that point. But it's only but so much abuse and breaking me down physically and emotionally that you can do to me before I've had enough.
Mm-hmm. Angela said most definitely in the wrong place when hitting invokes.
Involved.
Did I say involved? I'm sorry. The wrong place when hitting involved.
Look at our listeners chiming in. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Angela. Talking about trauma bonding, and we just got done with number 7. So right now we're going to talk about trauma bonding and how it keeps you stuck in abusive relationships. And the reason why you stuck is because, number 1, you're accepting the blame for the abuse. You over there covering for this person. Maybe I did something to deserve this.
So wait a minute. So they're actually taking it on, like, how the IRS sends you a letter saying, was this you in 2019? You didn't claim such and such, and we need you to pay it back. So they want you to write the, check. Yes, it was me. Go ahead and charge it to the gang. No, we ain't doing that. Mm-mm.
You are stuck in this relationship because you are accepting the blame for the abuse. He's gonna say, you will say, he didn't mean it. It was my fault. I shouldn't have worn all this makeup. My shirt is low. My jeans are too tight or whatever. I shouldn't have said anything back to him. I should have had his food ready when he sat at the table, whatever. You're going to accept the blame.
They have a lot of those things on Maury. Like one dude, he was on there with his wife, how he abused his wife. If his steak wasn't cooked perfectly, he throws it back in her face and actually throws the knife at her that she put there to cut. Like, it was just horrifying.
Yep, the steak would have hit the floor. I just would have put it back on the plate in the microwave and gave it right back to him.
With a little hockey to go with it.
Number 2, the reason why you're stuck in this trauma bonding relationship is because, again, you feel like you deserve this abuse, even though you really haven't done anything to really cause the abuse, but you feel like you deserve it. You would rather you get the abuse than somebody else.
Nobody deserves anything but to be treated correctly in the way that they want to be treated. You don't deserve to be abused or hit by anyone in any shape or form, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. You don't need to be breaking me down. When you get into these relationships, you should be building me up, if anything, and showing me something, leveling me up to be something better than I've already been exposed to.
He puts up with me and he still loves me.
Well, you are probably acting like a little, anyway, sometimes. But if he's still putting up with you and ain't hands being thrown, women, they could definitely be a handful. They definitely could be a handful. Because you try to push his buttons, you try to test him to make sure he's the alpha male or he's the man, because I know women don't want no weak man. So you will test that man and test his manhood and his masculinity just to see how, and you would do it to see how far you could go before he just snaps and be like, that's it. I can't take it no more.
There are some women that do that. And then there are the rest of us. Number 3, why you stuck in
You
this
went to that
trauma-bonded
fast.
relationship, you're justifying the abuse. He had a terrible childhood. I feel so sorry for him. His dad wasn't in the house. He just got fired from his job. You're justifying why this is taking place.
Well, what about she provoked me because she kept doing X, Y, and Z, and enough was enough. She was laying hands on me. I never hit her. I never did anything to her.
If you are a man, not a male, but a man, and you have discipline, then you're not going to put your hands on that woman. You're going to remove yourself from that situation. You're not going to be weak and give in to that mess. You're going to remove yourself before you do anything like that.
Oh, I see. I'm starting to get dark here. I need some light.
And that's where the blame come in. Like, I'm not going to blame. Don't do the blame game. Like, be responsible and accountable for your actions. Like, that person has to be accountable for what they do, but it doesn't mean that I have to play tit for tat. I don't have to do the same thing. Number 4, you believe you can change this fool. I mean, the abuser, sorry. You believe you can change him. You believe if I stay here and if I just be nice, not talk back to Massa, that I can change him. He needs help. Maybe medicine. Yeah. He needs help.
But that goes back to, as I said before, that women think that they can change the man, and men like the woman because the woman won't change. She'll still be the same. So that right there alone, you're going to disturb the peace. You're going to disturb the peace a little bit.
All right. Number 5.
Excusing the abuse.
You make he deserves it. He didn't mean to hit me. He didn't mean
it. It was a mistake. He's sorry. All the above, what they say. It was only one time. He's never going to do it again. And mama looking at you like, girl, I ain't seen this and I ain't heard it all before. He ain't going to change. He going to come back even stronger next time. Do something he don't like. Do something that offends him.
So we just gave you what trauma bonding was or is, and you had the seven stages of trauma bonding. And then we just gave you the reasons why you are stuck in that relationship. So now, here are ways you can break that trauma bond with help. And the first thing you need to do is to make a safe exit. Now, let me be careful because you can't just tell somebody to get out of their situation. Get out of there, girl, just leave. You have to be careful because that could be that person's life. So you have to make sure that you prioritize and your safety comes first, right? Which means you putting a plan in place to know where you're going to go, who you're going to be with, and you tell just one person where you're going to go. That one person know where you're going to be, and they're not going to tell that person, right? And if you're looking up stuff on a computer at home or on your phone, make sure you wipe your history clean because they will check all of that.
If they're smart. Most men sometimes aren't smart, and we don't do any of that. Get rid of the cachet, the cookies, all of those things.
Make sure you get out of there safely. So we can't just tell people to get out because sometimes it's not safe for them to get out at that moment. So they have to be strategic because why? Right. This person knows your every move. They know everything that you do. So you do one thing out of line, like, oh, you was at the grocery store you used to go for an hour. You was there an hour and a half. What was you doing for the other half hour? Where were you?
But look, women is like that too. Plenty stories. It take you 5 minutes and 34 seconds to go down the street, get the bread, like I said, and come back. You was going for 7 minutes and 24 seconds. So what was you doing for the other 2 minutes and 14 seconds that you was going? Like, you got this whole thing timed. And I looked at the car odometer. You went an extra 3 miles somewhere. Where did you go?
All right. So how to get help again?
Look, we need a hotline. No, we need a 1-800. You know, like on some of the shows, if someone you know is being abused and such, and they got the hotline, we need like a hotline number.
No, they can call the domestic violence hotline if you have an issue.
There you go.
Yeah. Number 2, break your silence. Open up your mouth to people that you trust. That's non-judgmental, right? People understand, a bad situation. But again, it has to be somebody you trust and you know that's not going to say anything to him. You got to make sure that the less people know, the better. But you have to open your mouth and tell somebody. You have to be able to share it. And that's going to come with you being vulnerable and say, hey, this is what I'm going through.
You got to work the plan. You got to plan to work the plan, and make sure that you execute it correctly, how you planned it out. You don't want to miss a beat, because he find out that even though a whiff that something's going wrong, or you could be trying to leave. Ooh, girl.
3, make an okay and a not okay list. And this is when you're moving on to your next relationships, make sure you identify, looking backwards, what's okay and what's not okay. You already know, your gut already tells you. So now that you have identified it, don't allow it to happen again.
Well, you can't really say that, because again, going into any relationship or marriage, it's a 50-50 chance, because he could show you everything that you want to see for 3 years, 7 years, but eventually once he gets you and you in that thing, now he becomes abusive. Now he becomes that demon that you so hard prayed not to have in your life.
They're not going to wait that long for the abuse. They're not going to wait that long. You're going to see something. You will see something up front. They're not going to wait that long. They're not.
You ain't going to see it, like, trust me.
They're not going to wait that long to start abusing you. They're going to be grooming you to set you up for the abuse. They will.
Look, a lion always stalks his prey before going for the kill. So as long as he got to wait to watch your movement, no matter how long it takes, and when he know that it's the right move and time to go, then he's going to go. So if it takes 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, what? Let me go get the light, because all I see is teeth.
You're in a 7-year relationship and all of a sudden this person hitting on you, like there was something already happening before they do that. And this is why it's important for you to take your time and get to know a person. You get to see them in all seasons of their life. So you get to see them when they're angry. What do they do when they're angry? How do they treat the people they love when they're angry? What does that look like?
So look, because I just got to piss you off just to see when you get angry, if you turn green or not. And if you start hitting me for turning you angry, like, what if it's just so happy-go-lucky for all this time, and then we say, you know what? Yeah, let's be committed into this relationship. And then now all of a sudden I turn you angry and I see something I don't like. It's time. People will they'll do the time and wait.
Angela says, she says she don't do the hidden. Emotional, mental abuse, I don't do. Here's what my grandmother and brothers tell me, me and my sisters and I. You have one daddy, and that's it, and that's all. So keep your hands to yourself, and he needs to keep his hands to himself. I'm telling you, people will groom you. They're gonna do something up front to see if they're gonna be able to get away with something. So they're gonna test you to see, can I get away with this? And that they're criticizing, that's part of it. Because they want to see, are you going to speak up for yourself? Are you going to defend yourself? Or are you just going to be like, okay, all right, maybe, no, they're gonna groom you to get you to the point to where you're gonna let your guard down and allow that stuff to happen. Yes. Trust me. I've been there. I'm talking from experience, not from research. So I know firsthand.
This Lady ReShell is the best person to listen to because experience is a good teacher.
No contact rule. Period. When you decide to leave this person alone, you have to do it cold turkey. Again, you have to put a safety plan in place first before you just up and leave to make sure all your bases are covered. But when you do, you have to make sure that there's no contact, none whatsoever. Because if once they get back in your ear, you're gonna be right back in that house. And if you co-parenting, then get a middle person, a mediator or somebody, to put your boundaries in place, because if they can get in your ear, you're going to be right back there. So you have to make sure that you have cut them cold turkey. And I'm not saying it's easy. But that's the only way you're going to be able to do it is if you cut them cold turkey.
That's right. I mean, but people should be able to have what's the word I'm looking for? They should be able to coincide and have a conversation with one another without throwing jabs or hurting the other person, and just make it constructive, especially if you're co-parenting, because the child don't need to see the fighting between the two and, why daddy don't pick me up, why I'm always here with Uncle Marvin, or why is the police officer always there? Why you and daddy not? Especially if they're a young child, they're going to ask these questions. So you don't want those questions to come up with them, because now that's going to sit with them in their childhood. And as they grow up, and it's just going to be there's the cycle. You
do want questions to come up so that you can answer those questions and get that child some help. The whole family needs to be in counseling, not just you, not just the person, the whole family, because everybody is affected. So don't try to hide and not answer answer those questions. When they come up, answer them. Let that child go to their own therapy so that they can say stuff that they may not want to say to you. And
you're going to start an argument right there, because who's going to pay the bill for the whole family to go to counseling?
I don't care. Just go to court and ask the judge to put it on his bill. Number 5 is figure it out.
You give me one judge that's going to pay the tab on counseling for the whole family.
No, trust me, they will put it on the man. It's been done before. Don't act like it happened. Number 5 is figure out what drew you to this dynamic in the first place. Reevaluate yourself. Get healed. They was able to get you in that position because you was not healed. And so there was some vulnerability about you that they was able to scoop in and do those things to you. All right. So we talked about how to identify trauma bonding. And just to wrap it up, we're going to give you some words of wisdom, starting with Rizal.
Oh. Don't get yourself into anything that you feel as though that you can't get out of or you can't get away from later.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to close out with my last sponsor, which is Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay. She's catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. You can go to marykay.com/GDOTSON for some new and exciting products. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk. I will leave you with these words of wisdom. Join me next Monday at 6 p.m. The moment that you start to wonder if you deserve better, you do. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is none other than Rizal, aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow @Warriors Talk, #1 on all social media outlets. and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.